Week 13 in the National Football League. We're in Cleveland on a damp early December day as the 8-3 Baltimore Ravens come to town to take on their AFC North rivals, the Cleveland Browns. And hello, everyone. Bill McAtee along with Steve Tasker. We welcome all of you to Cleveland. And Steve, the Ravens come in here off a couple of big wins over Cincinnati and the 49ers. They're going to be without their future Hall of Fame linebacker Ray Lewis for a third straight week. It doesn't seem to matter. They've been playing awfully well on defense. 9 quarterback sacks on Thanksgiving against the 49ers.
Yeah, they really have shown that they can play well without Ray Lewis in the lineup, and they're playing playoff football right now in December, and they've got the attitude. You see these 9 sacks last week. They're playing with the attitude that they've got to get better, and that's going to help them in this game. They've lost some soft games after some big wins earlier in the year. They're not looking past the Cleveland Browns today. They want to come in and get better and point toward the playoffs.
The good news for the Browns, last week Peyton Hillis got back on the field. He needs to be a factor today for Cleveland.
If they can get their running game going, that will give them some added benefit in protecting Colt McCoy. They'll get the run going. They'll also be able to play action, which will give Colt McCoy time to stay on his feet in the pocket, and that'll be critical.
Over on the Baltimore sideline, John Harbaugh. Well, that's, Pat Shurmur, coached for 8 years on the staff in Philadelphia with John Harbaugh. John with the special teams and then the secondary. Pat coached the O-line and the quarterbacks with the Eagles. And there's John Harbaugh, an emotional week last week and facing his brother Jim on Thanksgiving night, coming away with the win. And today he coaches against an old friend. The Browns won the toss. They'll receive. Series has been dominated by the Ravens of late. It started to rain, by the way, a short time ago. Still unseasonably warm as we get set to get started here in Cleveland. Baltimore comes in having won the last 6 meetings and 17 of 24 overall. Billy Cundiff ready to kick it off. Came in ranked first in the AFC in touchbacks with 38. And there is the always dangerous Josh Cribbs. 8 kickoff returns for touchdowns, averaging 27 yards a return this season. Raining here in Cleveland as we get underway. The Ravens and the Browns. And it will bounce out of the end zone for a touchback. Colt McCoy ready to go against this tough Ravens defense. He's been battling all season in his second year out of Texas. 16 of 34 for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against the Bengals. He can extend plays with his feet. 185 rushing yards on the season, second in the AFC behind Tim Tebow. Ray Lewis on the sidelines for the Ravens for the 3rd straight game. Peyton Hillis alone in the backfield. Out in the flat. Check down incomplete. That was intended for Greg Little. Watch the matchup up front today with Suggs and Joe Thomas, 2 of the game's elite players. When they go head-to-head, it should be something to see. The backs and receivers, Peyton Hillis is back. Little, the rookie wide receiver, has had a productive season, but he needs to hang on to the football. 4 costly drops last week and 1 on the first play from scrimmage. Hillis burst through across the 25 to the 27-yard line, a pickup of 7. And here's that Ravens defense. They lead the league in sacks. Had a club record with 9 last week. They're a load up front led by Haloti Ngata. The linebackers, even without Ray Lewis, are tremendous. Suggs with 3 sacks last week. And Ladarius Webb has been solid this season at cornerback. And as always, Ed Reed, the leader of the Ravens secondary, 57 career interceptions, one of the best to ever play the game at safety. Just underway here in Cleveland, 3rd and 3 for the Browns. And they'll have a first down. Jordan Norwood driven out of bounds at about the 38-yard line by Bernard Pollard, the strong safety.
Yeah, it's a nice opening series here for the Browns. You see that at the top, the inside receiver, Norwood just takes a little quick out. Nice, easy completion. That whole play in that series, that first down was all set up by the second down run by Peyton Hillis. He's been a real steadying force. You could see it last week in Cincinnati game, and once again early in this game. When you give him the football, it just settles the entire offense down.
1st and 10 after a pickup of 11. Pass is complete to Evan Moore, the tight end at the 43-yard line. The Ravens are the only team in the league this season not to allow any points on their opponent's opening drives. In fact, they've gone 19 games since allowing an opening drive score. That pass completion was good for 6 yards.
There you see Chuck Pagano, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, done a wonderful job. In fact, Suggs told us he was masterful in the win last week against San Francisco.
2nd and 4. Hillis, a nice hole on the right side, and he's into Raven territory. Another first down for Cleveland. Ladarius Webb made the stop.
Well, they're in the early going. The Browns look like they wanted to look all season. Hillis missing so much time with the hamstring injury. Coming in last week, playing a lot more last week than everybody thought he could. And here in the early going, the Cleveland fans probably thinking, you know, this could have been us all year, but it was not to be.
9-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10, opening possession for the Cleveland Browns. Hillis again, a nice cutback, and he's inside the 40-yard line, close to the 39. Ellerby made the stop.
Well, this is certainly a surprise for the Baltimore Ravens. They come in with a team without Ray Lewis, still knowing they can stop the run as well or better than just about every defense in the National Football League. They've only given up 37 rushing touchdowns since Haloti Ngata got in the league. That's 6 years.
2nd and short, and this is exactly what the Cleveland Browns wanted. You saw Chuck Pagano. He spent time here in Cleveland as the Browns' secondary coach in 2001 to 2004. Hillis muscles his way for about a yard. Corey Redding, coming off a big game against the 49ers, made the tackle.
Yeah, you talk about this defense and how it works. Those big guys down in front, Haloti Ngata, Corey Redding, Terrence Cody, just so big and so physical, and not just that, they also move extremely well side to side. So tough to run inside on them. That sets up the entire defense to be more productive.
Chris Ogbonnaya has checked in on 3rd and 2. More with the motion man. Short drop from McCoy. Batted away, incomplete.
And that ball was loose. The officials were a little bit slow in calling that play dead. Joe Thomas actually ended up on the football. It's going to bring up a punt on a 3rd and 2. Now watch the pressure come right in on Colt McCoy. That's McPhee coming right in from the inside, and that McCoy's taken a lot of hits in the past few weeks. He's gotten up from all of them, but it's starting to be some wear and tear issues for him.
Haloti Ngata knocked it away. Maynard. Fair catch made at the 13-yard line by Ladarius Webb. And the Baltimore Ravens with Joe Flacco at the controls will have their first possession when we come back. 11:19 left to go in the first. Opening possession for the Baltimore Ravens, who come in having won 4 of their last 5. Ray Rice, left side, squirts through. Big gain for Ray Rice. All the way to the 44-yard line before Mike Adams finally brought him down, a pickup of 30.
Watch Vontae Leach. He's going to weave in and make this block. He's got to really root out and finally gets around to where Maava is and knocks him away from the play. And, of course, Ray Rice just follows Vontae Leach right up inside. Great job all the way around. That guy is one of the best ever fullbacks, a position a lot of people don't know too much about, but he's a good one.
1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Rice stopped after a pickup of 1. Baltimore with a passing game that has really started to click with a deep and talented receiving core, and Flacco may be the most underappreciated starting quarterback for any contending team in the National Football League. He came in today needing 57 yards for 13,000 in his career. 2nd and 8. From the 46-yard line of the Ravens. Rice, another nice hole on the left side into Cleveland territory. Ataba Rubin made the stop. Ravens up front have been outstanding. They've allowed just 2 sacks in the last 3 games. Big Bryant McKinney has been a nice addition at left tackle. Backs and receivers, Ray Rice, one of the best all-round backs in the league. And Torrey Smith has added speed and has been a huge factor on the outside.
Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays for Joe Flacco.
3rd and 1 as Ricky Williams has checked in for the Ravens. They give it to Williams. Lowers his shoulder and dives forward down to the 35-yard line. Cleveland defense has improved from a year ago. They came in today ranked 6th overall up front. Rubin and Taylor, the rookie, have been one of the best inside tandems in the league. The linebackers, Mayava starts for Scott Fujita, who's out for the season. DeQuell Jackson has had a very good year. And in the secondary, Joe Hayden in his 2nd season, one of the top young corners in the league, and he'll need to have a big day today against Bolden and Torrey Smith. 1st and 10 after a pickup of 12. And that will result in a loss. Great penetration by Jabal Sheard, the 37th overall pick, and the Browns think he has a chance to be special.
Well, not only do the Browns think he has a chance to be special, but John Harbaugh told us we really like Jabal Sheard coming out of the draft. We probably would have taken him had we had the chance, but now they have to look over there as the Cleveland Browns take him, and he ends up making a play against him. But Dick Duran making the calls for the Cleveland Browns defense.
Ray Rice back in the game, 2nd and 14 after the loss of 4. Flacco from the shotgun. Checks it down, tipped away, and almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Sheldon Brown, who would love to have that back.
Well, Sheldon Brown, playing in 156th consecutive game, almost has a pick and can't pull it in. Flacco just trying to dump it off, and it doinks right off the helmet of the defensive lineman and ends up, and that's big trouble for an offense, and the Ravens got away with a huge miscue that could have cost them dearly.
Not a lot of interceptions for this Cleveland secondary, despite being #1 in the league against the pass. So 3rd and long. Flacco, center of the field, and that's going to be just short of a 1st down. Ed Dixon, the tight end.
Well, it does get him in range for a more makeable field goal. It'll be just about a 43-yard attempt if they do it, but it looks like, yeah, John Harbaugh is not even wasting any effort. He's going to leave his offense right on the field. They're going to go for it on a 4th and 2. And a moment ago on the first drive of the game, the Browns were virtually in the same spot, although they were just outside field goal range. They decided not to go for it on a 4th and 2 and punted it away.
4th and a long yard. Rice behind Leach in the backfield. Follows him through. Ray Rice churning the legs.
He did not get it.
And they're going to spot it. It looks like just short.
They had to make the 25-yard line, and they did not do it.
Browns had a key goal line stand late 2 weeks ago to preserve the win against Jacksonville, and a big one there here in the early going against the Ravens.
John Harbaugh thinking about challenging it, but he's not going to. This is a great stop by Cleveland.
Both teams take their opening drives into enemy territory, but come up empty as the rain starts to really come down here in Cleveland. 2nd possession for the Browns. Hillis fighting his way close to the 29-yard line. Ellerby made the stop. All 3 of the Ravens' losses this season have come after big wins against teams that were sub 500 when the Ravens played them: Tennessee, San Diego, and Jacksonville.
And also, they were all on the road as well. So this is an emotional team in Baltimore, and when they play a big emotional game and win, the next week it seems they have trouble dredging up that same emotional content.
High formation, step drop, short to Norwood, and a nice pickup. Still on his feet, and finally brought down at the 39-yard line. A 1st down for Cleveland, and now we have a flag down.
Yeah, Norwood's going to get flagged for throwing the football at a defender. He didn't really mean to, but it looked like he flipped it right at the defender, and that's a personal foul for taunting, even if it was inadvertent. Now, it looked like he was down to begin with, but Norwood didn't think he was, so continued the play.
The play resulted in a 1st down. After the play was over, personal foul. Correction, unsportsmanlike conduct by Cleveland. Number 10 threw the ball in the face of the other player. That's a 15-yard penalty. After the penalty, it will be 1st and 10.
Ed Hockley, our referee today.
Well, that negates the first 3 plays that Cleveland did. And watch this. We'll see if he's down, if he has a reason. Yeah, he's down there, but he doesn't think he is. And watch right there. He flips it. It went right up into the face of Bernard Pollard. Pollard thought he did it on purpose. And I don't think he did.
So they move him back to the 23-yard line. 1st down. Hillis. Well, got a sports fan on your list. CBSSports.com shop has officially licensed NFL gear and 3-day shipping on every order at shop.cbssports.com.
Yeah, that unsportsmanlike conduct, it wasn't deliberate, I don't think, on Jordan Norwood's part to do that, to flip that ball, but it doesn't matter. It was a good and easy call by the official because Bernard Pollard caught that ball right on his face mask.
Ogbonnaya and Hillis both in the backfield now. Set up the screen to Ogbonnaya, and what a tremendous defensive play by Brunell Ellerbe, who closed in a hurry, starting today for Ray Lewis. And now Colt McCoy comes up limping.
Well, they threw the screen pass, and the object is to let the defenders get to Colt McCoy. The problem is they get there so fast, he can't hardly get rid of the football. And Ellerbe, I mean, you can see with Ray Lewis out of the lineup, they've still got some pretty athletic linebackers back there. Ellerbe is tremendous, can run, and now McCoy's staying down, and that's bad news for the Cleveland Browns.
Timeout here in Cleveland. 5:07 left to go in the first. Working on the right ankle of Colt McCoy, who got caught underneath big Arthur Jones.
And it's his right ankle, so it's interesting. It looked like his left leg was the one that got caught under Jones, but it's his right leg that he's favoring. Right there.
So Seneca Wallace comes out now at quarterback in his 9th season. He's not thrown a pass in the regular season this year. Stands in, that's caught. Greg Little, the rookie, out of bounds at about the 29-yard line, pushed out by Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, and that was a 3rd down play. They wanted to get a little positive yards and then get off the field and punt after losing their starting quarterback. That's the issue for the Browns offensively right now, not that last 1st down.
Brad Maynard standing back at his own 15-yard line. Ladarius Webb awaiting the punt. Moves up to field it at the 34. 4:29 left to go in the first. 36-yard punt. Ravens back to work when we return. Breezy and wet here in Cleveland as the Ravens take over their own 39-yard line. Another nice pickup by Ray Rice, who came in leading the Ravens in rushing and receiving. Tamba Rubin made the stop after a pickup of 7.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question. This offense is predicated on Ray Rice being in the lineup. He stays on the field every down. He's not one of those backs that comes off the field in 3rd down. He's an asset more in the passing game as much as he is in the running game. He's good at both.
2nd and 3 to Rice. He gets the edge and spins forward down to the 40-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. Another nice gain. That was good for 14 yards.
It's a quick misdirection pitch as all the motion goes to the left. Ray Rice sneaks out to the right and just gets there before Sheard can see it and react. And it's a great gain, gets a good block on the outside by Lee Evans and turns into a 1st down. That's a nice misdirection, quick pitch for the Ravens.
That time Sheard, the rookie 2nd-round pick out of Pitt, got caught inside. So fresh set of downs for the Ravens, who are on the move. Rice. Ray Rice. More tough running and another first down. Mike Adams, the free safety, made the tackle.
He seems frustrated. He cut back and had plenty of room and started to give a little bit of wiggle to Mike Adams and ended up losing his own balance and falling at the feet of Adams for the tackle.
Rice, 7 carries, 70 yards already, and that's good news for the Browns. Colt McCoy up and throwing on the sideline.
That offensive line of the Ravens is starting to take over. Really did a nice job in this drive.
Ricky Williams has checked in now. I formation. Torrey Smith trying to run the reverse. And the Browns are all over that. Jamie Mitchell finally brought him down. Jabal Sheard forced him back inside.
Yeah, watch Sheard. He goes inside, but he's so athletic. He takes the right angle straight to the sideline. He doesn't run at Smith. He runs straight to the sideline and is going to get there ahead of Smith and forces the cutback. Great job by Jabal Sheard. Took an inside charge and still athletic enough to get back outside to snap off the reverse. Wow.
A loss of 3, second and 13 now for the Ravens. No score nearing the end of the first quarter. Williams gets to the edge, driven out of bounds at the 30. Sheldon Brown pushed him out.
Well, this offensive line of the Ravens doing such a nice job allowing Ray Rice to get the running game going. Here on the first play from scrimmage, busts a big one right up the gut, sets the tone for the rest of the drive as Vontae Leach and that offensive line on the left side really doing a number on the Browns, and that's crucial for this offense. It's all predicated on that guy. Today he's emphasizing the run, but the Browns know he can catch it as well.
3rd and 10. 3 receivers to the right. Flacco from the shotgun. On the move. Ed Dixon rolls forward, and he's right at the marker.
Yeah, and that could have been a better throw by Joe Flacco. He's not as good running with the football and throwing it as he is standing in the pocket, but he still buys himself time. 4-man rush, and there you see. Well, Dixon looked like he might have rolled to the 20, and that might be a spot that I'd think about challenging if I'm Pat Shurmur. I don't know if he actually got it. Depends on where the contact with the defender actually happened and where the ball was. Very close, but they gave him the line, and it's not going to matter. I still thought that was a charitable spot, but in the Cleveland Browns' mind and Pat Shurmur, as long as he didn't get that first down, they're okay with it.
That was good for 9 yards, so 4th and inches. The Browns have already stopped him once on 4th down today.
And the Browns have been good of late in short yardage and goal line situations, and they get another chance to prove it here.
Quarterback sneak. Flacco trying to churn the legs, and it looks like he's going to have it.
Well, John Harbaugh regrets not calling a 4th down quarterback sneak a week ago against the Niners, and this time he doesn't make that same mistake twice. Let Flacco take the snap and really do it quickly. You see everyone's kind of still settling in. Oh, there's the extension. Flacco doing a nice job. The Browns still rallied pretty well to stop that for that little game.
Nearing the end of the first quarter, they spotted just inside the 20. 1st and 10 for the Ravens. 8th play of the drive upcoming. Rice cuts it back and makes something out of nothing. Down inside the 15-yard line.
Wow. Yeah. As the quarter winds down, John Harbaugh told us Ray Rice has got a little bit of Mary Sanders in him right there. It got him a good gain.
So that's the end of the first quarter. No score. We'll return to Cleveland after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Ready to start quarter number 2. The Ravens on an 8-play drive. 7 of those plays have been running plays as they're down inside the 15-yard line. 2nd and 5, and officially the word on Colt McCoy is that he has an injured right knee and his return is probable. Second and 5 for Baltimore. Rice fights his way down close to the 10-yard line.
You know, I said right before the break that John Harbaugh told us that Ray Rice got a little Barry Sanders in him. That was another little example of it where he'll go in and jump sideways the way we used to see the great Detroit back do this. Watch as he comes in, it's shut off. He'll stop with both feet and then hop again and get out to the side and find a little daylight there. Harbaugh was giving him a little bit of trouble for doing that too often, but in there I think was the right thing to do.
Offset I, 3rd and 1. Rice gets it, and he's got a first down. Ray Rice off to a tremendous start. Tama Rubin made the tackle. Rice now with 81 yards. He's been such a huge part of the Ravens offense since 2009. Chris Johnson is the only player in the league with more yards from scrimmage than Ray Rice.
You see him there in the huddle with grass all over him. It's raining. This is an AFC North game. It's a physical game, and it's going to be like this all day.
Tyrod Taylor's at quarterback. Joe Flacco's at the top of your screen at wide receiver. And they try to run it to the right. And that was a nice gain when it looked like the play could result in a loss. Sheard pushed him out of bounds.
Well, Jabal Sheard is all over the field. He's so fast. Look, he goes up, he makes a jab step, and then, yeah, he just underestimates Taylor's speed. Takes a bad angle. Look at Flacco, and I'll tell you, when you get your quarterback out here, tell him to stay out of the way and don't get hit.
Taylor, the ACC Player of the Year last year at Virginia Tech. And that was the first snap that he's taken all season. 2nd and goal for the Ravens. Threatening. Rice, touchdown.
Tremendous run. Offensive line just grinding this line of scrimmage back towards the goal line, and Ray Rice finding his way for a few yards and then breaking a tackle into the end zone for the touchdown. Exactly the kind of drive Baltimore wanted to get going in a rainy day. Watch the offensive line get up to the 2nd level. Vontae Leach once again accepts the first defender through and clears the way for Ray Rice. Everybody's got accounted for, and it's just well blocked up front.
12-play drive, 11 on the ground. Cundiff. And bangs through the extra point. 13-17 left to go in the opening half, and the Ravens draw first blood. Ravens on the board after Ray Rice's 6-yard touchdown run. The Ravens playing AFC North football. Just 3 passing plays in their first 20.
Ray Rice got to be appreciative of that fullback Vontae Leach in his first year here in Baltimore, really reaping the benefits.
Cundiff kicks it away. Cribbs. Battling his way out to the 23-yard line. And Colt McCoy ready to go back to work, trailing 7-0.
The only excitement in Cleveland today is the Baltimore Ravens.
Ray Lewis fired up on the sideline. He wanted to try and go today, but the Ravens didn't want to risk getting the toe re-injured, so he has another week to rest as Peyton Hillis gets it on first down. Takes it out to the 27-yard line. Well, introducing NFL Magazine, the new official monthly magazine of the National Football League. Subscribe today at NFL.com/magazine. Pick number 4 for Hillis, 7 carries, 33 yards so far. There's Ray on the sideline, so anxious to get back. McCoy with time, center of the field. That's caught by Ben Watson. Watson out to the 42-yard line and a first down for Cleveland, a pickup of 15.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns come out with 2 tight ends, and he's going to throw the ball to Watson when he gets over the ball. Now watch as they come out. That gives them the flexibility to keep either one or both into pass protect, and in this case, they send them both out in the pass.
First and 10 for Cleveland. Just over 12 minutes remaining in the half. Hillis the lone setback. And they give it to Peyton Hillis on the left side. Muscling his way forward at close to midfield. They'll spot it just past the 48-yard line.
Well, there's no question Hillis is a big back, and he runs with great leverage as he goes in low and gets his body leaning forward. He has such leverage, and he's so big, and he put the offensive lineman in and around him. It's a hard force to get stopped. You just see there, just plows ahead for a good 6-yard gain. Nothing fancy, just weight on weight.
Hard.
2nd and 3 after the pickup of 7. Browns trying to respond to the Ravens. First down, that's a touchdown. That's incomplete, intended for Watson. And the Browns are lucky that wasn't picked off. Hung in the air for a long time.
Well, it hits Watson. You're seeing the slot right there. And it hits him, looks like it hit him right in the face mask. And more than any quarterback this season, Colt McCoy has had this happen to him. I mean, there have been so many drops by these Cleveland wide receivers, tight ends, the whole team. And McCoy is the guy that has really suffered from it. I mean, the whole team has, but Colt McCoy's numbers are not what they could be by any stretch of the imagination because of those drops.
So the graphic, they lead the NFL in drops. And this is Norwood. He doesn't drop that, but he fumbles it. And let's see what they rule. It's the Ravens' ball. He made the catch, but then dropped it on the way down. And guess who came away with it? Ed Reed.
Well,
the pass was caught, fumbled, and recovered by Baltimore. First down.
And I think that's a good call. He has both hands on. He's starting to tuck the football away and turn up the field. Had 2 feet on the ground with control. And then the ball comes out. It's a great job by Danny Gore to knock that ball away.
The Ravens with a turnover, leading 7-0. Waiting the result of the challenge by Pat Shurmur. Let's take another look, Steve, and from this angle, it looked like he had possession.
He's got it there with one. There's the second foot, and then the ball comes out. And Gorer knocks it, and then if it happens right in front of the Browns bench, and all the Browns can do is sit there and agonizingly watch that ball slowly roll to the sidelines. If it got out of bounds, they retained possession, but they could also see Ed Reed, as always, hawking the ball and ends up scooping it.
The receiver did not have the ball long enough to maintain possession.
Wow.
Therefore, it was an incomplete pass. Reset the clock to 11-11. It'll be 4th down.
As you might expect, John Harbaugh's not very happy about that.
Well, it still ends up bringing up a punting situation, but to me, I don't know what you have to do to catch a football in the NFL. You got 2 hands on it, it comes down. There he double catches it, but he's got 1, 2, he's putting the football away, and it comes out. And you can, if you want to make the argument that he didn't knock it out, that the guy just lost it, even so, I think it's an unforced fumble then. But the official sees it, he knows it. It's not a fumble.
Maynard punts it away to Webb, makes the fair catch at the 6-yard line, so they will benefit from that challenge with field position after a 45-yard punt. Let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture, which is updated now. Denver, because of their win, and Tebow 6-1, it continues to be a remarkable story. They are now 7-5 overall. That debate will continue. The Raiders got blown out today. Pittsburgh, very impressive over the Bengals. The Bengals fall to 7-5. The Steelers go to 9-3. So the Ravens today trying to keep pace with Pittsburgh, and they would win the tiebreak because they've swept them this season.
If Baltimore wins today, Pittsburgh and Baltimore reverse spots in that scenario.
Ricky Williams is deep back, and he gets it on first down. Nice hole on that left side. Out to the 14-yard line, a pickup of 8. Keontae Tripp made the tackle.
Well, as the Baltimore Ravens take over inside their 10-yard line, it's not rocket science what they're thinking. They're going to hand the football off and use their offensive line and push the Cleveland Browns all the way back to their own end zone. They're handing the football off today on a rainy day and just relying on that offensive line and Vontae Leach to make yards the tough way.
Ricky Williams stays in the game. 4 carries for 19 yards so far. They give it to Leach, the first man through, and he's got a first down. That'll move the chains.
Well, there you see, this is the Browns defense, and this is the thought process right there. Rush defense is 29th in the National Football League. That sets up all those other numbers to be as good as they are, because if you can't defend the run, you can't defend anything.
Browns have given up some big games on the ground. They've gotten better over the last couple of weeks, but surrendering almost 140 yards a game rushing. Again, Ricky Williams lowering his shoulder, fighting his way out across the 25-yard line to the 27.
Yeah, as I said, if you can't defend the run, it's not that you can't defend anything, but you won't get the chance to defend anything else because no team will do anything else against you. You see that Ricky Williams just absolutely bowling over Chris Gokong. But Ricky Williams, you think about this guy, in his 11th year from Texas, he's always been better as a complimentary back. Even though he was a very high draft pick, he is happiest and most effective when he comes in a secondary role.
He's been a nice pickup for the Ravens. 66 carries for 252 yards and a touchdown coming in. In space now, Ricky Williams. And driven out of bounds at the 42-yard line. A pickup of 15 before Joe Hayden finally made the stop.
Joe Hayden had a hard time getting up, but watch this. This is the same play we saw Ray Rice run earlier, and there's only one guy out here. It's Anquan Bolden on a one-on-one block with Joe Hayden. And Ricky Williams coming around at a full head of steam around the corner. That's a great play call, and well-timed by Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator.
And that was the 10th straight rushing play for the Ravens. Here comes 11 to Ray Rice. Rice to the 47-yard line before he was stopped by DeQuell Jackson. Thursday on CBS, the next person these two heroes must protect is the one person who can blow their cover. Person of interest. New episode Thursday, only CBS.
The player staying down for the Ravens. I think it's Matt Burke.
Matt Burke, the Ravens find center, so timeout on the field. 8:32 left to play in the half. Matt Burke being checked on the Baltimore sideline, the 6-time Pro Bowler with the Vikings before going to Baltimore 2 years ago, and it was almost like they were sort of checking right at the base of his throat.
Gerard coming in, the 10-year
Gerard, who can play guard or center. Such a valuable addition to this Ravens roster.
Ozzie Newsome doing a great job making sure that if they do have a key guy like Burke go down, they don't have to shuffle the line. They just insert a player that's made for the position.
Again on the ground. Ray Rice fights his way into Cleveland territory near the first down marker. Sheard made the stop.
Well, you talk about this is a running game. I mean, the Ravens are doing nothing but handing off, and then you have your center go down who identifies the defense, who sets up all the blocking schemes. And to have it possible for your offensive line when a guy like Matt Burke goes down, all of a sudden you've got a 5-time Pro Bowler who was with the Dallas Cowboys for almost a decade come in and just plug him in. Not only is this Baltimore Raven team very talented, they are deep.
Check the measurement. It's going to be about 6 to 8 inches short. And Burke will go into the locker room. Ravens come in peaking at the right time. They've won 2 straight and 4 their last 5 as they try to put together a run here to close out the regular season. John Harbaugh told his guys after the win on Thanksgiving that if the playoffs started today, we'd have a bye and 2 home games. We need to try to hang on to that. 3rd and 1, Leach with the first down.
Vontae Leach comes into the day with only 4 carries for 8 yards on the season, and now he's got 2 in this drive. And this is a guy who started his career with Green Bay, had a cup of coffee in New Orleans, then Houston for a couple of years. Now he's in Baltimore. And he's one of those guys, and you look back, Arian Foster owes his early success to a guy like Vontae Leach. Running backs in the National Football League buy those guys big gifts at Christmas time.
Matt Burke, the word is a right shoulder strain. We don't know whether he's going to be able to come back. Only the 4th pass of the game. Flacco lets it go. It's caught by Dennis Pitta, the tight end, and Flacco was nailed as he released the football.
I didn't think this pass had any shot at getting there. You got to tip your hat to Joe Flacco. Watch him stand in here as the pressure comes from inside. That's sheared once again, getting some penetration. What a game he's having, but just not enough in this play. Goes up high to try and stop the throwing motion, but Flacco gets enough on it to complete the pass. Wow.
26-yard pickup on the play, back to the ground. Ray Rice fights his way to the 16-yard line. Jamie Mitchell made the tackle. Mitchell back after missing last week with a sprained ankle. Back in the starting lineup today for Emmanuel Stevens, with Stevens now out for the rest of the season. Mitchell in his 6th year out of Ole Miss. Ray Rice now right at 100 yards on 14 carries.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco on the offense after hitting that long play-action pass down. Even with the good pressure, now they can go right back and run it because they've established that they can hit the Browns with a pass. And the Browns have to respect it.
2nd and 6. Ravens threatening. And a false start.
False start, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. It's first down. Correction, 2nd down.
Calling on big Brian McKinney in his 10th year out of Miami. First season with the Ravens.
Big is an understatement. 6'8", listed at 6'8", 360 pounds.
And Ray Rice, who's only 5'7", can hide behind the big guy. This drive started at the Ravens' own 6-yard line. 10th play of the drive here. Rice tripped up down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, he got tripped up because he ran over Ed Dixon, the tight end. Watch the blocking out front. This looked like it was going to go big. And out on the wide side, you'll see Dixon get cut right there by, I think that's Hayden cuts Dixon, and that's what trips Ray Rice up. Otherwise, that play goes down close.
Gain of 6. On their feet in the rain in the dog pound. 3rd and 4. Inside of 5 minutes remaining in the half. Empty backfield. Flacco to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Torrey Smith. Hayden and Mike Adams had the coverage.
Well, here's the play. 3 wide receivers all to the left side of the formation. Smith getting to the corner, and Flacco fits it in, and Hayden just puts his body. There's just no way that Smith can catch that ball because he can't see through Hayden. Perfect position by the young corner. I think he wins that battle, no question.
So that'll bring out Billy Cundiff, who had 3 field goals last week against the 49ers. This from 34 yards out to extend the Ravens' lead. No good.
He caught the flag at the top of the pole, and it was wide.
Only his 2nd miss this season from inside of 50 yards. No points for the Ravens. It remains 7-0. The Ravens with twice the time of possession, 16 minutes to 8, as the Browns take over following the missed field goal. Trailing 7-0, just over 4.5 minutes left to play in the half. McCoy underneath, that's caught. Forward progress close to the 30-yard line, a gain of 6 to Greg Little.
Well, it's a good snap by Morgan Cox. Great hold by Cook as well, and this ball just goes up and just clips through the flag. No question. It's outside the pipe.
Trouble.
2nd and 4. Hillis. To the 33-yard line, and coming up on the Sprint halftime report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 13. That's all coming up on a busy day on the Sprint halftime report. Rainy day here in Cleveland. Great fans always supporting this franchise. 3rd and 1 for the Browns. Power I formation. Little in motion. Hillis. The Ravens had good penetration. Second effort.
Yeah,
and he's still going to be short.
Yeah, the Ravens ripped the ball out of his grip, but it was after the whistle had blown, and they're not going to give him the first down. Everybody in the stadium knew that Hillis was going to get it, and the Ravens rallied to the ball. They're coming right in here. And there you see Marisic trying to lead him in. Marisic.
Jarrett Johnson coming from the edge just leveled him.
Yeah, Marisic, the 4th-round draft pick this year for the Browns, not quite the experienced lead blocker. Vontae Leach and had a hard time sorting through the trash.
Darius Webb also the fair catch and makes it at the 21-yard line. 2:39 left to play in the half. A 46-yard punt. Still 7-0 Ravens. Ravens' first 3 possessions, it went over on downs. The first one, then the touchdown, and then a 6.5-minute drive yielded no points, but a change of field position, and it's still 7-0.
And the Browns shouldn't be too discouraged, although their run defense is having a hard time finding an answer to the Ravens' attack. They're still only down a touchdown, and their offense has had some success, but really they can still look at themselves and their own mistakes as to why they haven't been able to put points on the board themselves.
See if the Ravens open it up. Back to the ground. Ray Rice over 100 yards. 107 now and 1 touchdown on the day. That was good for 2.
And the Ravens taking all the time in the world to huddle up at 2:20. And now Cleveland will take a timeout, knowing that the Ravens are probably going to let this go to the 2-minute warning. Cleveland wants none of it. They want to make sure that they get a chance, every opportunity to get the football back before halftime.
Let's take a look at Ray Rice's day so far.
Well, the opening play from scrimmage, he snaps one off. A great game. Like I said earlier, it kind of set the tone, and then he makes a nice little jump cut to the outside, and then pounds it into the end zone. Offensive line, Ray Rice really getting it done. And believe me, there hasn't been much to speak of other than that. They haven't even really tried to throw the football too much. It's been run, run, run. And just daring Cleveland to finally get tough and stop it.
Ravens with an overwhelming edge in time of possession. 17 minutes to 10.5 for Cleveland. 2nd and 8. Flacco to throw. Middle of the field, Dixon. Upended close to midfield, the 48-49-yard line by Sheldon Brown. But a nice pickup by the Ravens as that takes us to the 2-minute warning, with Baltimore leading 7-0. A 25-yard pickup.
Ed Dixon working against Usama Young. Gets the crossing route. And that's a tough matchup for a lot of defensive backs. The big, fast guy, you want to keep a cushion so he doesn't get deep, but then you can't cover the short route.
After that completion, Flacco now over 13,000 yards for his career, wanting more here, and got it. Another first down, close to the 35-yard line to Anquan Bolden.
Bolden just so physical. I mean, so good over the middle on the underneath routes. And Joe Flacco, with the success of the run game, nobody's getting near him in the pocket.
16 yards on the first catch of the game for Anquan Bolden. 1st and 10, Flacco to throw again. Under pressure, gets it out to Leach with some running room. The big man out of bounds at the 25-yard line, pushed out by Chris Gokong. That was good for 11.
Yeah, they brought lots of pressure on Joe Flacco. He steps away from it. The protection was absolutely great, even though it broke down. The Browns sent 6 players after Joe Flacco. Watch, all the players are going to rush in the screen. 6 guys coming in. And Flacco steps out, just gets rid of the football. Nice alert play. Leach doing a nice job making himself available. You can bet he was hooting at Joe Flacco to let him know he was there.
1:22 left to play in the half. Flacco for the end zone. Overthrows everyone. Torrey Smith was the intended receiver. Stops the clock. 1:16 remaining. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Once again, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 13. That's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Well, we spoke to John Harbaugh yesterday. He said this is a tough division game. He would be absolutely fine if it ended up 0-0 at halftime with 1 half to play. Right now with a 7-point lead, he's got to be feeling even better.
22 plays in Cleveland territory, yet they're only leading 7-0. Flacco trying to set up the screen to Rice. Brought down from behind at the 24-yard line. Jabal Sheard made the stop.
And Baltimore will take a timeout.
Timeout on the field with 1:07 left to play in the half.
Yeah, it was my mistake. I thought it was Baltimore that took the timeout. Pat Shurmur actually took it with 1:07 to play on a 3rd down and 8.
Cleveland with 1 timeout remaining. They're able to stop him here. Incomplete. Dennis Pitt, a slip coming out of his cut. So that'll bring up 4th down.
And Cundiff will come back on to try another field goal. And now you kind of get why Pat Shurmur called that timeout. If they can get that stop on the 3rd down, even if they convert this field goal, his offense has a chance with a little bit, well, close to a minute left to get something done.
This one from 41 yards out. Cundiff kicked for the Browns for 5 games back in 2009 before going to Baltimore. And again, he's going to miss it to the right. And it remains 7-0.
Well, you could see the ball curve. The ball hit and moved from left to right. He started it out like he thought it was going to bend to the left, but here's his day, how it's been. The field goal that nicks off the upright and gets through. Then the missed field goal there. And this one, as you see, it starts out through and gets blown wide right.
And Cundiff had only missed once inside of 50 yards all season. Today he's missed twice, trying to set up the screen, and that was going nowhere. And now a flag comes in. Obadiah was the intended receiver.
Holding defense, number 51. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and it's an automatic 1st down.
Ian Badejo.
Yeah, Joe, you can see Joe now Harbaugh complaining. They fake a run, and the linebacker grabs the running back who the run was faked to and doesn't let go. And they call it a holding because the guy didn't have the ball and it was a pass. I can see his argument there, but it is within reason.
53 seconds left, and this was almost picked off. Suggs had a bead on it. Comes up smiling on his way to his 5th Pro Bowl in 9 seasons. The AFC Defensive Player of the Week with his 3 sacks and a forced fumble last week against the 49ers, and he is playing at a high level. He'd love to have another chance at that one. Little was the intended receiver.
He is a tremendously gifted player, smart, agile, instinctive, and he's at the top of his game.
2nd and 10, 49 seconds left. Miscommunication. Ben Watson did not turn around, and Colt is frustrated.
Well, he saw an adjustment that had to be made. Both receiver and quarterback had to see it. And Watson didn't. And I didn't see the reason Colt McCoy thought, unless that was a called play. Usually a throw like that is called a pop play, where the tight end just pops his head around and the ball is right there. Pat Shurmur pointing to his eyes, saying you got to see that, and I think that's right. Colt McCoy saw it, Ben Watson did not.
3rd and 10. Obanaya in the backfield. McCoy to the sideline. Picked off. Jimmy Smith. And he was waiting. The first-round pick out of Colorado with the interception.
Yeah, Colt McCoy stared the receiver down and gave Smith a lot of time on the outside. At the top of your screen, you see he doesn't back out at all. He does not believe the Cleveland receiver's going deep, and he just sits down. And when the receiver breaks, he runs in front of him. You can see he's got safety help over the top in Pollard, so he doesn't have to worry about a deep throw.
Battled a high ankle sprain early in the season. Colt McCoy made the stop after the 32-yard return, but they like what they're seeing from Jimmy Smith now here in this last third of the season.
Baltimore's got all 3 timeouts, and
Flacco will throw on first down and throws it away.
And Colt McCoy has made entirely too many tackles this season.
And how much of the decision to make that throw revolved around the previous play, the miscommunication with Watson?
Well, it does add up, but there's only one guy that's responsible, and that's the guy who's pulling the trigger, Colt McCoy. That was a throw that he's got to know that safety, at either pre-snap or during his drop, that the safety Pollard has got deep third over the top.
51.
And so far, the Cleveland defense has been pretty much able to answer the call. They'll have to do it again. Flacco, incomplete. Bolden was well covered, and there's 2 flags down on the play right near the goal line.
Yeah, there was some contact going on as Bolden came in close to the goal line. They're dropping the flags on the 3-yard line, so it's going to be a spot foul.
Pass interference, defense, number 21. Only place at the
See
spot
the
of the
reaction
foul.
from
First
Dimitri
down.
Patterson. He said, look at the replay.
Well, here it comes. Bolden, a big physical receiver. And there, you can't do that. He wraps his arms out and he runs into him face first. That's an obvious penalty, and Dimitri Patterson can complain all he wants. The officials, in fact, both officials threw the flag as soon as it happened.
I'm not sure why he wanted people to see that. It's pretty obvious. So 1st and goal from inside the 3. Ravens trying to extend their lead. Rice. And again, tough running against this Cleveland defense inside. Phil Taylor made the stop, the big rookie out of Baylor.
Well, this defense has been good on the goal line. There's no question about it. Even this past month, they've really stepped up and made some great plays in this situation. And you look at their young players, Jabal Sheard and Phil Taylor, and you throw in Ataba Rubin. This is a defense for the Browns. It's got some good things in place.
Well, they did it in Week 8 at San Francisco against Frank Gore. Stuffed on 4th and goal at the 1 against Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago. Jaguars' final drive to preserve the win for the Browns. And then last week against Cincinnati, Cedric Benson was stopped at 4th and goal on the 1, the Bengals' opening drive.
And then just now, Ray Rice got nothing. So there are some pieces in place here in Cleveland that they can be very excited about. But I think it's the other side of the football and Colt McCoy where the question marks lie.
24 seconds left to go in the half. 2nd and goal. Flacco to throw. Incomplete. Dixon was well covered, and Flacco basically threw it away.
Well, Dixon's won a penalty as well, but he's got to make a play on the ball. You see him in motion right there. Watch as he comes out. He's the guy Flacco's going to try and get it to. He could probably get a penalty here if he go up and try and make a big play on the ball. It might have been uncatchable, but you're not going to get a penalty if you're not going to try for the football.
Sheldon Brown had a little bit of a hold of the jersey on that one. May have gotten away with something there. But 3rd and goal. Ravens lead at 7-0. 19 seconds left to play in the half. Empty backfield. Flacco on the slant. Incomplete. Lee Evans couldn't bring it in. Hayden had the coverage, and he's played an outstanding game.
Yeah, and Joe Hayden is a good young cornerback, no question. Defends this ball as well as it can be defended. And I've been asked about Joe Hayden whether I think he's a shutdown corner. And I'd have to say no, because they still throw passes like that right at him. When people are scared to throw at him, then he's a shutdown corner. But until then, make no mistake, though, he's very, very good.
He came in second in the league in passes defended with 16. So now we see Billy Cundiff, this time from 21 yards, and a line drive through. And a sigh of relief for Cundiff as the Ravens extend their lead with 13 seconds left to play in the half, 10-0.
And you think about this half and how it's gone for Cleveland, and a lot of it has to do with Cundiff and his struggles to get the ball through the uprights, but a 10-point game is way better than the Cleveland Browns could hope for it to be after the way they played the first half. Their offense with a turnover, 2 turnovers.
The Browns with just 94 total yards.
Can't get it going.
In the first half, 43 on the ground, 51 passing.
Actually, it says 1 turnover because the 1 turnover was called an incomplete pass instead. But, you know, still, it's a game that looks much more in favor of the Baltimore Ravens than the scoreboard would indicate.
Ravens have won 4 of their last 5, looking to build some more momentum heading down the stretch. Cleveland coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Bengals, where they didn't trail until the final minute. Browns have lost 4 of their last 5. Josh Cribbs back deep, and he can turn things around in a hurry.
You see, standing on the goal line, he knows that even with the new rules going this direction, it may not get to the end zone to give him a chance.
On drive from Cundiff. Cribbs on the hop, takes it out across the 25 and flies forward to about the 27-yard line. Tonight on CBS, has Team NFL gone native? 4 teams remain with only 2 episodes to go. An all-new Amazing Race tonight, only CBS. 9 seconds remaining for the Browns.
And you see the back of Colt McCoy's jersey will give you an indication of how rough a first half it's been for the quarterback for the Browns.
Never a good sign when the quarterback's back is that
he's
grass-stained and dirty. But he'll take a knee. The crowd doesn't like it, but it was certainly the right call. And Cleveland still with contact, trailing 10-0. As we've reached the end of the first half, we'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Failure is not an option.
Back in Cleveland, ready to start quarter number 3. Bill McAtee and Steve Tasker. The Ravens have dominated the football game, and yet they lead only 10-0.
Yeah, and I think you can point to the fact 2 missed field goals and also a turnover by Cleveland set them up not to be able to score, and also set the Ravens up to take advantage of the play clock, and that running game for the Ravens is really dominated.
All right, let's take a look now at our Droid Razor play presented by Motorola. Ray Rice with great blocking from his offensive line with the game's only touchdown from 6 yards out. 10-0 Ravens. Ray Rice with 107 yards and that touchdown on 17 carries in the first half. So some rain, a little mud, some sweat and blood. 10-0. Welcome to the AFC North. Numbers from the first half, Steve?
Yeah, the one that jumps out at you is this. That right there. And that turns out, you know, we spoke to Terrell Suggs yesterday. He said that's been the big difference, because as good as our defense is, it's better when it's fresh. And this Raven team really plays good complementary football.
Ravens will have it to start the second half. Zibikowski will take a knee 5 yards deep. Ravens never punted in the first half. Joe Flacco back to work. He threw for 161 yards and a touchdown in a very efficient performance last week. Completed a season-high 65% of his passes as you look at those first half possessions for Baltimore.
Even this, turning it over on downs, they were in field goal position, and of course with the 2 missed field goals, don't know how that would have turned out had they attempted it.
Browns playing tough defense, have managed to hang in there. Just underway in the second half. Rice, nice gain on first down. And that will be a first down. Brian Schafering finally made the stop.
And for a Cleveland Brown defender, you gotta think, oh man, here we go again. What happened in the first half comes right back in the first play of the second half. Ray Rice.
He's been spectacular. 118 yards now on 18 carries. Offset eye. Here they come in the blitz. Good penetration at the point of attack for this Cleveland Browns defense. Rice stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, despite they're only up 10 points and they didn't score as many points as they had an option to, the Baltimore Ravens aren't changing anything in this second half. Osama Young came off the edge to get in the middle of that run play and hold it to actually no gain. But nevertheless, Baltimore is not flinching. They're going to come out and pound this football right at the Cleveland front.
2nd and 10. Behind Leach. Rice picks up a couple. Browns will have to go the rest of the season without their veteran linebacker, Scott Fujita. He'll miss his physical presence on the field, but also those intangibles like making sure that guys are lined up correctly, the things a veteran can bring to a young team like the Cleveland Browns.
You think, see there, Kaluka Mayava starting in place of him, number 56, in the middle of that defense.
No, Largo.
3rd and 8.
Double.
Opening possession of the second half.
Largo.
Ravens lead at 10-0. They rush 4. Flacco, center of the field, incomplete. In now the hands of Lee Evans. Ravens are excited to have him healthy. Now here in the last third of the season, they want to try to have him on the field with Torrey Smith and see how teams handle that.
Yeah, that ball gets through there, and Lee Evans will think he should have had that, and I agree. That's a drop on behalf of the Baltimore Ravens. You've seen the Browns struggle with that statistic of late, and now the Ravens do the same.
First punt of the game for Baltimore. We see Sam Cook averaging almost 47 yards a punt. Gets into this one. Cribbs retreats back to the 13 and tripped up at the 22. 12:51 left to go in the third. A 54-yard punt and a 9-yard return. The Browns with just 93 total yards on offense as they take over 1st and 10 from their own 22-yard line. I formation, Hillis the deep back. McCoy, 3-step drop. Little brings it in. Out across the 30. Kerry Williams made the stop.
If you look back at the possession chart for the Browns, you can see it got, after a pretty good opening drive, it got worse and worse as the half endured. Of course, this is just a kneel down at the end of the half. The Browns got to get on the field, make some first downs, and get some positive things going offensively.
Pickup of 8 on the completion, 2nd and 2. Here's Hillis, and he is upended, banged down hard at the 30-yard line. Suggs nailed him.
Bernard Pollard also in on that. And watches, Hillis is going to go in. This is a 250-pound back, and he kind of runs into Joe Thomas.
It was Thomas
and
who
Suggs
nailed him
at the same time, and that you don't see that very often.
11 carries for Hillis. 43 yards on the game. 3rd and 2. McCoy. Underneath, that's caught by Watson. No miscommunication that time. And a first down for the Browns.
And there's no question, I mean, as much as Cleveland's offense has struggled at times, Colt McCoy has thrown it to guys who've been running open. Here Watson tries to hurdle, and anytime you're in the air, you're vulnerable, but McCoy has had some guys running open. This Browns offense has been effective if they could just connect on the passes. McCoy's had drops and other things happening to him, but if they could just do their own job better, they'd be a pretty good football team offensively.
They pick up the blitz. McCoy incomplete. Again, was going to Watson. Watson couldn't make the diving reception.
Now that would have been a great catch. It could have been a better throw by McCoy, but that's the kind of thing, and the Browns know this. They told us, you know, if we can just do our jobs better, not shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties, with drop passes, or taking a bad sack, our offense would grow by leaps and bounds, because not only would we get the plays back that we make mistakes on, we would also give ourselves opportunities to go further into drives and stay on the football field.
Good coverage on the play by Jameel McClain. Brings up 2nd and 10. Play action. Batted down. Haloti Ngata was in the way of the football intended for Peyton Hillis. Ngata with 2 sacks last week against San Francisco, the 2-time Pro Bowler. Such a force inside. Tremendous athlete in a 6-year out of Oregon. First-round pick back in 2006.
Yeah, he's a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he is a tremendous athlete down inside with 17 career sacks. He's also a guy like that, has 3 career interceptions as well. I mean, he really is a special player.
So 3rd and long, and Chris Ogbonnaya checks in at running back. McCoy from the shotgun. Trying to set up the screen. They give it to Ogbonnaya, and he's going to lose yardage. Brought down at the 29-yard line. Suggs was all over it. Yeah, loss of 8 on the play.
A 3-man rush. They played man with a zone umbrella in the back. They had 8 guys dropping in. You see here, 2 of the guys don't even rush. They're just standing there watching Ogbonnaya. He's got no shot. They're in man coverage underneath, and whoever stayed in the block was covered man-to-man, so there were too many guys.
See Brad Maynard again. He's been busy. That was almost blocked. Webb lets it drop. It'll be downed by Cribbs at the 29-yard line. The Ravens will take over when we come back. Browns fans braving the wet weather here in week 13. Ray Lewis always animated on the sideline, chatting with Ladarius Webb. Love to be back next week. 1st and 10 for the Ravens. 10-11 left to go in the 3rd. Ricky Williams out just past the 33-yard line. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes, Michael Bublé's got the #1 Christmas album in the country and an inspiring success story to go along with it. To get a preview right now, simply call *60. That's *60 from your mobile phone. Ricky Williams, 7 carries, 47 yards. Stays in the game.
White, Mike. Yeah. Opposite. A.
Williams. Nice penetration by DeQuell Jackson. Finally healthy this year. He came in with 100 tackles already. And John Harbaugh told us that he's the guy the Ravens have to find and block on every play. Otherwise, he'll make every tackle.
Yeah, he is a guy that Harbaugh singled out as being a truly great player. Playing very well this year. And even the guy at the Browns acknowledge it as well. He's the heart and soul of that defense, a defense that is much improved and a pretty solid unit, although it doesn't get too much help of late from the other side of the football. Its offense, this defense has played pretty darn well.
3rd and 5, Flacco. That's caught by Bolden, and that's 700 receptions now for his career. Pushed out of bounds by Sheldon Brown, a pickup of 16 yards.
Well, once again, Joe Flacco stands in the pocket and takes a big rush, enables him to get this ball to Bolden, and you can see this ball barely gets there because Flacco's got a guy in his face. It flutters out there, and that's the 2nd time today Flacco has had to stand in and know he's going to get hit and hit hard.
3-time Pro Bowl receiver, came in 7th in the AFC in receptions with 747 yards, and that again was career number 700.
Elastic, quick and straight, snap it.
Ravens from the shotgun. Flacco to the sideline. Bolden was the intended receiver, and Patterson did a nice job closing and knocked it away.
Yeah, they were running out of time. You could hear the offensive line yelling for the snap because they were running low on time. Bolden, ball up and high, and behind him gives Patterson a chance to get his hand on it.
Flacco just 8 of 17 for 118 yards. Anquan Bolden brought such a tremendous veteran presence to this Baltimore receiving corps. 2nd and 10. Flacco, center of the field, incomplete. Usually Bolden will make that catch. Flacco wants pass interference.
He's not going to get it.
No flag.
Sheldon Brown working against Bolden, inside release, gets straight up the field and then makes the break, and Brown does a nice job of staying right with him. That's a great job of defending right there. Both hands out on the football. Makes it impossible for Bolden to catch that.
So 3rd and 10. Browns defense trying to keep it close. Rice back in the backfield. Flacco flushed from the pocket. Stripped away, ball's loose. Browns have it. Jamie Mitchell. Jabal Sheard stripped it away. His 5th forced fumble here in his rookie season.
Well, Sheard is just faster than Joe Flacco thinks he is. When he comes around the corner, Flacco steps forward and thinks he's got enough time to do it, but Sheard closes the gap so fast, and that's a fumble, absolutely no question. His hand was empty when it reached the top of his throwing motion. It's a great job by Jabal Sheard, who's had an outstanding game today.
They spot it right at midfield, so let's see if the Browns can take advantage. McCoy sacked. And that's how you stop the momentum after a turnover. Suggs. His 10th sack of the season.
And this is just a speed rush. Joe Thomas can't get there. It's a deep drop by McCoy, so Thomas gets no help in that aspect. This ball looked like it almost came out. Well, it did. I think he was down. Well, he's got it, though. Yeah, Suggs just a speed rush. And Suggs said Joe Thomas is one of the 2 top tackles in the league, the other being Jake Long in Miami. Joe Thomas, a guy Suggs knows. This guy's work cut out for him.
Suggs in double digits for sacks for the 4th time in his career. McCoy lets it go. Hillis wide open. Peyton Hillis. And the Ravens forgot all about number 40, a 52-yard gain.
Well, Bernard Pollard was looking somewhere else, and Hillis just turned the pass route up the field, and Pollard, well, he's not going to outrun Pollard, but he certainly made him forget about it. And Hillis getting open down the sidelines, and Colt McCoy buying himself some time and finds him.
New life for the Cleveland Browns. 1st and goal from the 5. Hillis picks his way down inside the 5 to the 3.
You know, I was watching this Browns team, and there's no question the Browns fans were out of this game for a while, given the success of Flacco in the offense and the time of possession. But when they got that turnover by Jabal Sheard, even the Browns bench was jumping up and down. This team is really buying into Pat Shermer. The players on the sideline, sometimes when bad things are going and something like that happens, the players don't even react. The Browns players were jumping up and down. They're excited about this football team, even in this situation, and it's showing now in their offense.
2nd and goal for Cleveland. They trail 10-0. McCoy in and out of the hands of Evan Moore, the tight end.
And that's another drop. I mean, it must be something in the water in the locker room of the Browns, because everybody's getting in on the act. And that ball's got to be grabbed and pulled in for a touchdown. And you know, Evan Moore knows it.
Moore came in with 2 touchdown catches on the season.
I mean, you look at this offense and the way it's gone the last 2 months, that's the story of it. It's drop passes and missed opportunities.
Fourth drop pass today. So third and goal. McCoy, lots of time. Incomplete. Greg Little, the rookie, was the intended receiver, and Pollard knocked it away.
And Colt McCoy started staring down Greg Little, and he had an open receiver out to his right. You see there, pumps once, looks over, then he moves away from it, tries to fit it in. Out to his right. Had a wide open receiver, Pollard. Look, doesn't touch Little with his left arm, reaches out with his right, perfectly defended.
Phil Dawson on to try the field goal, and he's got it. Browns with a new long snapper. They waved Brian Pumphrey on his side. Christian Young, and his snap was good. 10-3. The 52-yard pass to Peyton Hillis sets up the 21-yard field goal by Dawson. Hillis getting stretched over on the sideline. Missed 5 weeks with a hamstring. It's a 7-point game with 5:55 left to play in the third. Zbikowski back deep. From the 1. Straight up the gut. And brought down at the 26-yard line. 5:48 left to go in the third. 10-3 Ravens. Ravens take over 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Leading 10-3. Ray Rice. Big haul. Rice still on his feet. Ray Rice. And finally brought down inside the 10. Down to the 6. Joe Hayden saved the touchdown.
An enormous run by Ray Rice. And even though he scored a touchdown in this game, this is the play of the game. He comes through the traffic, patient, waits for the play to develop, and then that broken play, the broken tackle right there was what turned him loose.
Ricky Williams comes in, second effort down to the 1. 67 yards on the run by Ray Rice. He's at 187 now on 21 carries.
And they quick snapped that for that last play for a reason I do not understand. But now they're not even huddling up. They don't want to give that Browns defense a chance to substitute defensive linemen.
Williams at deep back, and he gets it on second and goal, and a touchdown. Ricky Williams in the end zone.
And the air just went out of the stadium. What an enormous play from the Ravens running back. You see there, Marshall Yanda. He's not making holiday wishes right there, I can tell you that. It's
Yanda in his 5th year out of Iowa, 3rd-round pick in 07, and second touchdown in a Ravens uniform for Ricky Williams.
Yanda playing right guard, down inside, right where that play went over the goal line.
It's been an adventure today for Billy Cundiff. On to make it a 17-3 game. And that was right through the middle. 4:56 left to go in the third. Ray Rice with a big run, 60 plus, nearing 200 on the day. The crowd is cheering as you look at Ray Rice because a squirrel ran onto the field and ran 50 yards into the end zone, where he is now, and he's coming out of the end zone. And that was the loudest ovation of the day.
Where does that squirrel live?
I don't know.
We're on the lakefront in Cleveland. There isn't a tree within 2 miles.
4:56 left to go in the third. 14-point game now for the Ravens. Cribbs bobbles it, stays in bounds, still on his feet. Finally falls forward across the 30. And let's check in now with JB in New York for an update on the 49ers and the Rams.
49ers will clinch the NFC West with a win, Boom.
Well, JB, Alex Smith doing his best Joe Montana imitation down deep the middle. To Michael Crabtree, 52 yards in the air. San Francisco leads 16-0, start of the third quarter.
Back to Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
JB Boomer, thank you very much. Montario Hardesty has checked in now for the Cleveland Browns. Missed 4 games with a calf injury. There's a marker down the play. And Alex Smith was leveled. That was Jarrett Johnson, the Iron Man for the Ravens, playing in his 125th
Illegal
consecutive
hands to
game.
the face, offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And that's insult to injury right there.
Jason Pinkston, the rookie left guard out of Pitt.
The run by Ray Rice a few moments ago completely changed the complexion of this game and the stadium. The Browns got a little momentum with the field goal off of the turnover, moved the football pretty effectively, a big play from Peyton Hillis in the passing game, and yet, with a big run by Rice, it all seems to have gone for nothing.
Empty backfield, 1st and 20. McCoy trying to get something going on offense. That's caught by Norwood. Goes down to get it. At about the 28-yard line, a pickup of 8. Darius Webb made the stop.
Darius Webb, we spoke to John Harbaugh. He said, we've gotten much better play out of our cornerbacks than we thought we would this year. Darius Webb, Kerry Williams, of course Jimmy Smith in that mix as well. We saw Danny Gore, who's a backup, also force a fumble earlier today. So the defensive backfield better this year overall than they thought they would be.
McCoy trying to direct traffic, takes off. Slides forward across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
4-man rush forces McCoy out of the pocket, has nowhere to go to. You saw him go through 3 options. He went far left, middle, and then to the right, and nobody was open. He had to tuck it and run. Went through 3 options in his progression and had nobody to throw it to, and finally had to try and get a first down on his foot by foot.
Gives himself a manageable 3rd and 4. Chris Ogbonnaya is in the game.
I'm going hard. Hard.
And here come the Ravens. McCoy goes down. Pernell McPhee smothered him.
Wow, what an exotic defensive front by the Baltimore Ravens. They've got all the guys standing up around, never really got set into a defensive front, and then all the pressure comes from the right. Nada doesn't even he moves to the left, or the defensive right, so that they can't move out that direction, but all the pressure comes from one side, and they get home.
McPhee, a high motor guy, the Ravens really like him. Darius Webb makes the fair catch at the 23-yard line. 2:40 left to play in the third. Well, Saturday, CBS Sports presents one of the most storied matchups in all of sports. It's all guts, all grit, and all glory. It's the Army-Navy game, presented by USAA, and it all begins with college football today, next Saturday on CBS. Ravens take over after a 48-yard punt. Colt McCoy frustrated on the Cleveland sideline. Browns have a young team with more than a third of their players on the roster in just their first or second year in the league. That's 23 guys. They had to learn a new system with a short off season. Rice stopped after a pickup of 1 by Mayava.
It's so easy to forget what a different kind of off-season all the teams in the NFL had now that we're 2.5 months into the regular season, but it still is in effect.
And Pat told us when he showed up last July, it was the first time he had seen most of his players, so it's been a steep learning curve for everyone.
Yeah, he had to introduce himself. He told us, he goes, listen, there were a lot of players, a few players I couldn't have picked out of a lineup. And that is a hard place to start. That's below ground zero.
2 minutes left in the third. 2nd and 9 for the Ravens. They lead by 2 touchdowns. Rice tries to get to the edge, and he'll be stopped for a loss by DeQuell Jackson. The Cleveland defense still playing hard.
Yeah, they're playing against a team they know is in the conservative mode now, leading by 2 touchdowns late in the third quarter. They're going to get another dose of run game, and DeQuell Jackson and the rest of those defensive players for Cleveland, they are jumping all over the run game. Look at those numbers right there. That's the kind of day it's been. 247 yards rushing from 2 different guys. Even Ricky Williams averaging 5.4 carry.
They gave up 100-yard games to Arian Foster and Ben Tate against the Texans a few weeks ago as the Ravens take a timeout on 3rd and 11. Ravens lead it 17-3, 1:11 left to go in the third. Big day for Ray Rice. 4th year out of Rutgers, 2nd-round pick back in 2008, and he's been the difference maker for the Ravens today.
Yeah, that was the first play from scrimmage. This is the touchdown. It was the only touchdown scored in the first half. And then the big run in the third quarter that really changed things for everybody.
Only 5'7", but such a powerful runner and has that tremendous quickness. If anything, John Harbaugh told us he wants him to be a little more patient and not cut back too quickly, but I don't think he'll object to the way Rice has run today. 23 carries for a $186.
Yeah, look at Riggin.
Ricky Williams in the game on 3rd and 11. Flacco stands in, and that's caught. Torrey Smith. And Smith brought down inside the 45 by Joe Hayden.
Well, Joe Hayden saved a touchdown. No question about it. Torrey Smith pulls this pass in, and it is a tremendous throw from Flacco from the 15-yard line all the way out to the 45 on a rope. And you see there the bad angle by Mike Adams leaves Joe Hayden on an island. Hayden knew he had center field help, so he didn't really take the inside away from Torrey Smith, and Mike Adams took a bad angle and allowed the reception.
32 yards on 3rd and 11. Ricky Williams gets it. Muscles his way down to the 41-yard line. Phil Taylor made the stop. Clock winding down. 10 seconds left. And that will be the end of the third quarter. Ravens lead it 17-3, and we'll return to Cleveland after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Ready to start the final quarter here in Cleveland. 17-3 Ravens. Ricky Williams stays in the game, and he gets it. Still on his feet and fighting close to the marker. Kaluka Mayava finally brought him down. Looks like he's going to be just short, and Ray Lewis over with Ray Rice on the sideline, having a little chat.
You go into the facility or you talk to these guys in meetings, as we do, you know, when we cover them, and actually we'll be covering Baltimore again next week. They are a close-knit bunch. It is a good culture that John Harbaugh has fostered there in Baltimore.
3rd and 1. They give it to Leach, and he has the first down. That'll move the chains. Well, we spoke about the losses to teams that, when they played them, were sub-500. Tennessee, San Diego, and Jacksonville, and that was a concern for John Harbaugh. He talked with his team about that this week, and he told his guys, we have the chance to do something special with this team, and we cannot have any kind of an emotional letdown.
And he said when he talks to his team, he talks to the veterans, the guys who have the most awareness of what's going on in the big picture. He talks to them first, as Flacco can't get them lined up, and they're going to take a timeout. But John Harbaugh laid it out for all of them, and they're pointed towards the playoffs.
The Ravens seemingly on their way to 9-3. Look where the Ravens are now in terms of the AFC North. They've already swept the Steelers. They beat the Bengals at home in Week 11. Ricky Williams on first down. The ball is out. And let's see who has it.
It's like the officials don't even want to say it.
They got it.
It's like putting your hand into a meat grinder. I'd rather not.
You guys talk about this.
You get the officials just kind of wait until they wear out before they walk in there. Everybody just
there is the signal. Cleveland's got it.
The ball came out very late in that pile, but there was no whistle before they started scrambling for the loose ball. And the last three guys to get up are all Cleveland Browns at the bottom of that pile. Paxson, who did the same thing last week against Cincinnati, fought off guys at the bottom of a pile for a loose ball. He does it again. Ricky Williams going to get in, get stood up, and it's always a dangerous thing. And, well, he's down there.
And we've got the challenge flag out from John Harbaugh.
That might be a good challenge because Ricky Williams, no question that the fumble was spotted and started to scramble for very late in the play, and it's quite possible that Ricky Williams was
ruling
down.
on the field that there was a fumble.
So the clock will stop with 13:26 left to play. 17-3 Baltimore. We're back, and let's see, Steve, if we can pick up where the fumble occurred.
Well, we had a few different angles of it, and until we got a look from a certain angle, I didn't think it was going to, I thought it was going to be inconclusive, but I think this may be reversed.
Let's hear from that
The
hockey
runner's
league.
backside was down on the ground before the ball came loose. Therefore, he was down by contact. It's second down. There's no changes to the clock and no timeouts charged.
Yeah, we looked at it from a lot of different ways and couldn't see anything, but watch. Right in here, that's Ricky Williams' leg there. He's down there, and then the ball comes out. So that was a good catch by the official.
So nice challenge from John Harbaugh.
Yeah, it's an even better challenge by
Ravens
Harbaugh,
keep
yeah.
it. Ray Rice is back in the ball game. Just 9 yards short of a 200-yard day. Second and 9, offset high. Just over 13 minutes left to go. Rice falls forward for a couple. Let's go to JB and Boomer in New York for a Week 13 update.
Hey, Boom, Aaron Rodgers has weapons.
Boy, he makes it look easy, doesn't he? This is his third touchdown pass of the day. Floats one out there. Greg Jennings comes down with it. And Green Bay's leading 28-17, middle of the third quarter.
Rodgers has tossed 2 or more touchdowns in every game thus far this season. Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
JB, Boomer, thank you. Aaron Rodgers having one of the great seasons, really, in the history of the National Football League. Packers continue to roll. Rice stays in the game on 3rd and 8. Flacco from the shotgun. Up the sideline. It was caught but out of bounds by Lee Evans. Joe Hayden was on him stride for stride.
What a great throw and a great catch. It just ran out of room out on the far side. Watch as Evans gets up, and this is one of the things that's different about the Baltimore Ravens this year. Lee Evans, and wow, that was pretty close. Lee Evans, yeah. That's out of bounds. Lee Evans and Torrey Smith, if I can finally get both names in there. Those two guys give Baltimore a vertical threat that changes everything for defenses facing them.
So Sam Cook will come in to try a rare Raven punt. And they'll bring it out. Really nothing you could do. It would have landed in the end zone anyway. They'll bring it out to the 20. 17-3 Ravens. Rain continues to fall here in Cleveland. The Browns take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Just over 12 minutes left to play. Trailed by 2 touchdowns. McCoy. Timing route. Massaquoi was the intended receiver, and Kerry Williams got a good jump on it. Let's take a look, Steve, at the NFC playoff picture. The Packers now have clinched a spot in the postseason with the Bears lost to Kansas City today.
Right, and they can clinch their division if they win and Detroit loses later on tonight. Actually, only if Detroit loses, that's the only thing that has to happen, and they'll win the division because neither Detroit or Chicago could catch them then.
Lions taking on the Saints. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. McCoy gets rid of it. Jordan Norwood, the intended receiver. Ian Badejo knocked it away. Let's go to New York again for an update. JB.
All tied up in the desert, Boom.
That's right, in the fourth quarter, the Cardinals are keeping it close right here. Beanie Wells, 4 yards out, right up the middle. Ensuing point after touchdown, 13-13 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, all tied up.
Dallas trying to strengthen his postseason positioning back to Bill and Steve.
All right, guys, thank you very much. 3rd and 10 now for Cleveland. Very little offense today for the Browns. Out route incomplete. Watson, the intended receiver. And Cleveland once again will have to punt, and that does not make the faithful here in Cleveland very happy.
No, it doesn't. And that was a bad 3 and out to take at the end in the fourth quarter of a game like this. And Pat Shurmur knows they're building, no question here, with Mike Holmgren in the front office. They have some pieces in place, knowing it will take time, but they want to build for a sustained winner, not just a one-time playoff appearance.
The Ravens will have good field position after the 2nd straight 3 and out for the Browns on offense. And once again, let's go back to JB and Boomer for another update here in Week 13.
The Giants have narrowed the gap against the Pack.
JB, touchdown passes all over the place. Look at this perfect throw to Hakeem Nicks. He comes down with it one-handed. 28-24, Giants are not going away.
Capping a 5-play, 76-yard drive. Back to McAtee and Tasker.
That's a quarterback for you. Perfect throw that the guy had to catch one-handed.
Well, they are dueling, and it's close. Packers and the Giants. Ray Rice still 9 yards away from 200. He's had a big day. And they give it to Ray Rice. Little stutter step. Fights his way to the 47-yard line. Brian Schafering made the stop. Clock continues to run. 11.5 minutes left to go here in Cleveland. Ravens with the 2nd easiest schedule remaining. They play the Colts next week, then San Diego. They play at home against Cleveland and finish up on the road at Cincinnati.
Yeah, that Cincinnati game, I would love to know now what that game is going to mean for both of those clubs.
Play action, Flacco. Vontae Leach was the intended receiver, and that did not fool Jabal Sheard.
Jabal Sheard has played an absolutely outstanding football game. I mean, he's
got a little piece of that.
Yeah, he got a piece of it. Flacco couldn't get it over him, and he has really shown his athletic ability today. So a couple of times he's taken an inside charge or an outside charge and had to recover, and he's been able to do it. I'm really impressed with his ability to change direction. For a big guy, he's really made a difference for this Browns defense today.
So 3rd and 8 as the Cleveland defense continues to go hard. Flacco sets up the screen to Rice. Got some room. And a first down for Ray Rice. Gokong finally made the stop.
We talk about this Baltimore Raven defense and where their team is headed, and you talk about this Cleveland Brown team and what they're going to do for the rest of this season. And I said it earlier, I think defensively they're much further along than offensively. Offensively, I think they need some help on the outside, but defensively, their front is getting better and better, particularly with a guy like Ray Lewis on the other side and DeQuell Jackson, who has really emerged. Along with the young front they have, this defense is getting better and better.
From the Cleveland 44-yard line, 1st and 10, Rice tries to move the pile down to the 41. And coming up, time permitting, on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Green has led up here in Cleveland, so some of these hardy fans remain. It's been a difficult rebuilding process and a few false starts for the Cleveland Browns, but collectively, at least within the organization, folks think they're heading in the right direction.
Delay of game offense, 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Yeah, and this one I think is on the rookie, Torrey Smith. He couldn't get lined up. When he finally did line up, he traded places with Anquan Bolden, and then he still ended up in the wrong places. Bolden went in motion.
Steve, just to go back to Cleveland for a moment, they've got their franchise left tackle. They've got a guy with some potential in Greg Little. Got a shutdown corner in his second year. Pretty good middle linebacker. He's healthy, making plays. A terrific young safety when TJ Ward comes back. They've got 7 picks in the first 4 rounds next April, including a pair of number 1. So they have a lot to look forward to. Nice burst through by Ray Rice.
And as we've seen, I think Jabal Sheard is going to develop into a really quality and top-flight pass rusher as well. So they've got some things going for them on that side of the football, no question. And as you said a few moments ago, 23 guys are really young on this roster that are going to grow up together.
Good defensive mind in Dick Duran. And Rice, by the way, with that carry goes over 200 yards, 201 on 28 rushing attempts. 3rd and 8 for the Ravens. 8.5 minutes left to play. Flacco incomplete. Smith was the intended receiver. So the Ravens will have to punt.
You know, as they come off the field, Flacco 10 for 22 for 158 yards. There's going to be some people who kill him for those numbers. I'll tell you what, though, he's made some throws. I think a lot of great throws today and has nothing to show for it. Some of them were incompletion, some of them were great decisions, but I think the guy's throwing the football, and John Harbaugh said it to us yesterday, he's throwing it really well. And right now, even with those receivers, it's strange that he's not getting those results that he wants, but this is a football team built around the running game and the defense, not around their quarterback. And that makes his numbers look like that sometimes.
Flacco doesn't seem to be able to win. He gets a lot of the blame when things go wrong, but not much of the credit when things go right. Cook punts it away. And it will take a Cleveland bounce, finally down at the 21-yard line. 8:17 left to play. Colt McCoy takes the field once again. Browns take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. 8:17 left to play. Ogbonnaya picks up a couple, and once again, coming up, time permitting, on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from this busy Week 13. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Comes up in a hurry. McCoy underneath, incomplete.
Yeah, that's a flag.
And Watson was pushed the entire way. That will draw the flag. Paul Kruger was trying to cover Watson.
Pass interference, defense, number 99. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. It's an automatic first down.
Kruger he's got 4.5 sacks this year. Not really the guy used to dropping out in coverage, but you see there, pretty early.
Just a tad. So from the 25-yard line, empty backfield for Colt McCoy. And that again is tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Watson, the intended receiver. And once again, let's check in with JB and Boomer in New York for an update.
Boom, what's happening in San Fran?
Well, it's Alex Smith. That's what's happening. But how about this? Nice throw to Kyle Williams, and Kyle Williams is going to do the rest right here as he goes 56 yards for a touchdown. San Francisco now leads St. Louis 26-0. Start of the 4th quarter.
49ers running fast to the NFC West Division title. Back to Bill and Steve.
Solid.
All right, guys, thank you very much. 2nd and 10 here in Cleveland for the Browns. They trail by 2 touchdowns. Colt McCoy sacked. And that relentless pass rush from the Ravens again. Pernell McPhee with his 2nd sack of the game.
The way this season has gone for Pernell McPhee, he gets a sack or a half sack about every other game, and he was due. And he got 2 today. This the second. The first came in the first half. This one right here. He was the last guy up the field, and as McCoy tried to step up, McPhee was there waiting on him.
9 sacks last week, 3 today against the Cleveland Browns. So 3rd and a ton. McCoy goes underneath to Obadiah. Marker is down. It's been a relatively penalty-free game as Jameel McClain made the stop.
You see Ed
Holding
Hockley.
offense, number 66. The penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
Looking at the sideline for John Harbaugh to get the nod that it was okay to decline it. It was an obvious decline, bringing up 4th down.
So Brad Maynard stands back at his own 15-yard line, ready to punt it away to Ladarius Webb, standing at the Ravens 30 on 4th and 7. This will be returned. Webb with some running room. Ladarius Webb. And will he be caught from behind? No! Touchdown! Ladarius Webb! A 68-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Well, it was not a good punt by Maynard. Didn't have very much hang time, and it didn't get very high in the end. He had plenty of room. Cribbs was the first guy down. He took a shot, but didn't get enough to make Webb step out of the way. And once he got the seam, there was no catching him. There was a return-o-matic of a punt. It was low. Line drive right in the middle of the football field, and Ladarius Webb took it to the house.
Cundiff on to make it a 21-point game with just under 7 minutes left to play, and does. And John Harbaugh told us in our meeting yesterday that he thought Ladarius Webb was getting close to breaking one. 68 yards and a nifty bit of running and some good blocking on special teams by the Ravens.
The last guy with a chance at him was Scrine. Thought he might get a penalty right there for going to the ground deliberately, but no.
Outrunning Buster Skrine to the end zone. The rookie out of Tennessee, Chattanooga, had a shot, but a big play punt return from Ladarius Webb, 68 yards. And there is the cushion. Another tough day for Pat Shurmur. In our updated look at the AFC playoff picture.
And if this game stays as is, Baltimore will go there. Pittsburgh will come back to this.
Ravens with a sweep of the Steelers in their 2 meetings, so they have the edge in the tiebreaker.
When you look at that AFC North with Cincinnati there at the bottom in the second wild card spot.
And how about
Cleveland's not getting any help from their division, I'll tell you that. It's a tough division to get good in and to improve your record in.
And Denver winning today again with Tim Tebow, coming from behind, and now with Tebow as the starter, they're 6-1. And the Raiders really struggled today, so now it's Denver with the lead out in the West. And that continues to be a remarkable story. 6:58 left to play. 24-3 Ravens. Cribbs. Driven out at the 27-yard line. Tomorrow on CBS, to save these children, the 5-0 team will do anything, but first, they'll have to find them. Don't miss a new episode of Hawaii 5-0 tomorrow, only CBS. Darius celebrating on the sideline, enjoying that nice punt return for a touchdown. The Browns take over 1st and 10 from their own 27. Other than the big play, the pass of 52 yards to Peyton Hillis, it has been quiet offensively for the Cleveland Browns.
I got it, Tony.
McCoy, Obadiah with some running room. Out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Nakamura brings him down. Clock continues to run. No huddle for Cleveland. McCoy takes off and finally slides down at the 42. He's taken enough of a beating today.
Right, Ed Reed had a bead on him, had a full steam ahead at him, and he just decided to sit down. That was the right move. Ed Reed was going to lay him out.
2nd and 8. McCoy with time finally lets it go, and that is caught by Massaquoi out near midfield. It's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
Obvious. I think this is 4-down territory for Cleveland. You talk about what is the mindset is McCoy will quarterback sneak it for the easy first down. You talk about the mindset, and you know this is still a point. If you're a team like the Cleveland Browns where you're evaluating your players, they're looking to get better. And if in these situations you're not helping them get better, you won't be a Cleveland Brown next year. And that's the mindset right now for these guys.
McCoy. Obadiah has a first down and he runs out of bounds.
You know, we've done the Cleveland Browns a number of times, and look at a guy like Obadiah who got his opportunity there to catch the football and came in October. Been with the club for about 7 weeks.
Signed from Houston's practice squad back in October.
And he told us, listen, it's a privilege to be on this team, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I give them an opportunity or the reason to bring me back. And he has. We spoke to Pat Shurmur, and they've been really favorably impressed with his work ethic and how he's picked up this offense and what he's been able to do.
Hillis is in the ball game, stays in the block. Watson, and he steps out of bounds. Watson down to the 22-yard line. Pickup of 11 on the play. And interesting to see this transition for the Baltimore Ravens. Some big changes coming into the season. 20 new players, 8 new starters. A lot of the familiar names are gone. Derek Mason, Todd Heap, Willis McGahee, Kelly Gregg all moved on. And this season the Ravens have had a lot of young guys like Torrey Smith and Terrence Cody step up and play well. First and 10 from the 23-yard line. McCoy slings it. Massaquoi incomplete.
You talk about having young players come in and play well as the Ravens have done this year. A lot of it has to do with what we were speaking about earlier with John Harbaugh. You know, there's a couple of things you can say about Harbaugh. He's a really smart head coach. He's also a really regular guy. And he's also very honest. His players really respond to him. If you've got a smart, honest head coach who's just a regular guy, they really play hard for him. And the culture he's created perpetuates young guys coming in and acclimating very well.
2nd and 10. And Obadiah was the intended receiver. And Danny Gore jumped the route, was thinking 6.
I think he thought he already had 6 and forgot he had to catch the football first. Look at that. That is a touchdown for Gorer, and he can't quite pinch it.
John Harbaugh told us when we talked to him early in the season, his goal was to get younger and faster and specifically find guys that could match up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and certainly with the sweep of the Steelers this season, you have to think he's accomplished that. McCoy incomplete. Little is the intended receiver.
Another drop for Greg Little. When you talk about guys who stand out for the wrong reasons, Little has got to be one of those guys. This is another drop, and there's no question this is a tough catch. You're going to get hit. You know you're going to get hit. You got to make the catch.
Got his first NFL touchdown pass last week, but had some costly drops against the Bengals. A couple more today. So 4th and 10 for Cleveland. 4.5 minutes left to play. McCoy from the shotgun. Lots of time. Gets rid of a touchdown. Evan Moore. And finally the Browns get in the end zone.
Well, Evan Moore, a lot like Peyton Hillis in the third quarter, Evan Moore just got forgotten about. He ended up standing by himself. Looking there against Ladarius Webb, who somebody just forgets about him. They had the switch running. You see there, Jimmy Smith comes back to try and clean up. Jimmy Smith stayed with the underneath route instead of dropping back deep on the outside. And it did turn into a touchdown.
Third touchdown catch of the season for Evan Moore in his third year out of Stanford. Phil Dawson on to try the extra point, and he's got it. 4:22 left to play, and it's a 24-10 ball game.
And there's one of the passes. The question was the ball going to get there before Smith did? And it did, just in time.
14th touchdown pass of the season for Colt McCoy. And you do get the sense, Steve, that the Browns have not really decided on Colt McCoy. Haven't decided on his future. There are a lot of talented young guys coming out, especially if a guy like Matt Barkley out of USC comes out. Well, Andrew Luck is going to be the first guy taken, right, probably by Indianapolis.
They won't get a shot at Andrew Luck unless they throw a big pot of draft picks and perhaps players at whoever ends up with the first pick. But you look at the AFC North and the way it stands, that's a pretty tough division.
Perhaps the most competitive division in the National Football League. Top 3 teams would be in the postseason. Steelers looked awfully good today in hammering the Bengals.
We set up here for the onside kick.
There it is. Fielded on the run. Nakamura was thinking touchdown.
And that's a great drop by Nakamura.
4:18 left to play, and a little bit of a tussle on the field. Been a tough physical game between these two rivals. It's Alex Smith, the tight end, who has to be led away by his teammates.
Yeah, no harm, no foul.
And for those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Bill McAtee along with Steve Tasker. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Ray Rice checks back in. He's got 201 yards on the day, and he gets it on first down, adding to that gaudy total.
Cleveland will take a timeout. Their first.
Again, Ray Rice came in, leading the Ravens in rushing and receiving. Matt Forte, the only other player in the league to do that. Forte injured today early in the game as the Bears lost. 29 carries, 205 yards, and a touchdown for Ray Rice.
We were talking about the AFC North. That's the strength of schedule for those top 3 AFC North teams. Baltimore with the easiest road by far And that's why John Harbaugh and the Ravens are thinking home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Down to 2 timeouts remaining. Rice squirts through a seam down to the 30-yard line.
The only thing keeping the Ravens from getting it throughout the playoffs would be the even easier schedule that the New England Patriots face down their stretch of games. And nevertheless, though, this is a team that is poised to do some damage again this year.
Think about what they've been able to do on offense. You haven't seen a lot of it today, but with Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, his speed, Ray Rice a career-high 204. He can also catch the ball underneath. I mean, they have a lot of weapons. There's 2 talented tight ends in Dixon and Pitta.
Set the play clock to 10, please. 10 on the play clock.
Well, Ed Hockley a little irritated.
The play clock was at 9, you know.
Not like you had to put another 20 seconds up there. Ricky Williams has checked in. He's the deep back for the Ravens. 3rd and 2. Leach fights his way. Looks like for the first down.
And Cleveland will take its 2nd timeout. But this is also a team, as you talk about Baltimore, that is built somewhat weatherproof. You know, for the AFC North, obviously, and also in the playoffs, you got a good defense, a good run game, and a quarterback that can make throws all over the football field. It's just the kind of team playing in that region of the country where you're going to have to go to Pittsburgh once a year, and a day like today, a rainy day in Cleveland and Cincinnati. I mean, it's a playoff weatherproof team built for the postseason.
Saw Ed Hockley give us the signal, so a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 with 3:29 remaining when play resumes from the 28-yard line. Ricky Williams stays in the game. 13 carries, 64 yards, and a touchdown for Ricky Williams. He gets it, lowers his shoulder, fights his way down to the 22-yard line. Phil Taylor and DeQuell Jackson converge to make the stop. And another timeout by Cleveland. And next Sunday, the NFL on CBS tracks the playoff push with doubleheader games. First, Tom Brady leads the Pats against the Redskins, or the Chiefs battle the Jets. And then the Raiders tangle with Aaron Rodgers and the unbeaten Packers. Check your local listings, beginning with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Fellas in the studio always do such a great job. 2nd and 4 now for the Ravens.
I was just going to say, they got too many quarterbacks in the studio. You know, you get more than one of those guys.
Need a few special teams guys?
You know, they get more than one of those quarterbacks in the same room at the same time. Nobody else gets to talk.
That's why it's always so lively.
That's right.
Yeah.
3:24 left to play. Williams. And really, you think about pieces of the puzzle, and Ozzie Newsome, who had such a tremendous career here in Cleveland, has done a great job in kind of bringing this team together, bringing in the necessary folks. There he is in the Ring of Honor, right by Lou Groza. Up above. And there's Ozzie looking on, has to be pleased with what he's seen today, as his Baltimore Ravens will move to 9-3.
Goes to every practice. Watches every practice the Ravens have. And a lot of general managers, personnel guys don't do that.
Williams has got a first down. And that should take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, this is a team that has always been focused on one thing: Super Bowl championships. Cleveland Brown fans, you see there, just impatiently waiting for their team to evolve into an AFC North team that's at the top of the division instead of the bottom.
A lot of this game has been played in Cleveland territory. This will be the Ravens' 46th play in Browns territory. We've reached the 2-minute warning. 24-10 Ravens. Cleveland out of timeouts. 2 minutes remaining. Ravens trying to close out the win after Steelers beat Cincinnati today, so trying to remain tied with Pittsburgh at the AFC North at 9-3. They'll take a knee.
And that's on the card. And if you're a head coach, you know that if you get a first down at the 2-minute warning with the play clock, you can run it all the way out.
So we've been talking about the bright future for the Baltimore Ravens. How good do you think they can be? Are they the best team in the AFC right now?
I think so, and I think they're going to go as far as their receiving core can take them. I think Joe Flacco can make all the throws. Their defense is as good as anybody, certainly anybody in the conference, probably as good as anybody that's going to be in the playoffs that they'll face in the playoffs or the Super Bowl. And their running back, of course, with Ray Rice, who got over 200 yards today, he can do it.
Joe Flacco will keep his perfect record intact against the Browns. He'll move to 7-0 against Cleveland.
And I think going further, I think in the playoffs, ultimately the NFL is built for a team to ultimately have a guy who can stand in the pocket and make throws in crucial situations. Flacco can do that. The question is, unlike other years, I think this year he's got more options than he's ever had.
Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, Lee Evans is healthy. Two tight ends, Dixon and Pitta. And of course, Ray Rice catching or running the football. Rice will end the game with 2:04. Spectacular performance. And that would be it. Helmets come off, they'll shake hands. And the Ravens will leave Cleveland with a 24-10 victory. Two friends shake hands at midfield. Browns will drop to 4-8. The Baltimore Ravens move to 9-3. Ray Lewis, hug for the young cornerback Joe Hayden, wants to be back on the sidelines for a third straight game. So 24-10 Ravens. And tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by The Amazing Race, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. So for our entire team here at CBS Sports, for Steve Tasker, this is Bill McAtee saying so long from Cleveland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.